Welcome to the final session of the Abstraction course. Today we're going to be looking at using the techniques from the first three sessions in combination in order to develop more ideas and to take your ideas further. So fragmentation techniques, simplification and repetition, zooming in. I'm going to show you an example which combines all those three to progress a piece of work. So here we have a series of studies by Jill from her A-level. First things up, she is distorting this tomato as a blue background, using patterned glass to give her ideas to ripple. And then she's exploring those ripples. She's taking the most interesting bits and zooming in on them into close-up, and then she's taking the sort of patterns with them and playing around with them, taking the most important forms, simplifying them, making them more elegant and combining them together. So all three techniques have been used in progressing this piece of work. So here we have what I feel is my most successful piece of work from this course, and I want to develop ideas from it further. I could just zoom in and do a paint on a section, but I want to try and use a range of other techniques. So I have what I feel are my less successful pieces of work here, and how I'm going to start is I'm going to cut and tear these up and then recombine them using these sort of shapes from this composition as inspiration. So to introduce some randomness, I've drawn some of those art shapes on the back of this, but I don't quite know what I'm going to get. Okay, so I'm going to start cutting them out. My first two sections. Oh, that's quite a nice one. Let's see what it's like with the middle out of that. Top that bit off. Yeah, I'll leave that for now. Next one. Yes, I've got some really quite nice starting points there. Remember, old work, if you're not so keen on it, it can be quite a useful thing, even so. You can perhaps recombine it later on. It's something I do all the time in my work. This, on the other hand, I think I'm just going to tear it fairly randomly, trying to get sort of curved shape. I want some larger pieces too. Oops, not much of a curve there. Start with that and this one. I'll leave that one out for the minute. Now, where's my piece of paper? So, starting to think about how these could combine together. This is going to be a process that's going to take a bit of trial and error. Trying to think how these might possibly work. what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to place these and then take photographs of different possible compositions. And once I've done a few and I think I've come up with something I'd like to use, I will show you the photos. Here are my 4 possible compositions. First thing to say is that after one attempt I realised I really actually didn't like having so much of the green and brown in the background, and far too busy, and it would be better if I did actually cut that into shapes. So here, starting to think about rhythm, it's still a bit overcomplicated, so I simplified it down here and then tried a slightly different combination here, and in the end it's this composition that I preferred, but without that strip there. So I have stuck that down, and here we have the start for this piece of work. So keeping it fairly simple, as a matter of fact, nice bit of repetition and rhythm through there. So now I'm going to start working into it. Now, for clarity's sake, I've actually trimmed off where these bits of collage will have overlapped, gone over the edge, but normally I leave them on the side if that's something that I want to keep. What I'm going to start by doing is looking for any sort of connecting lines and maybe just extending them a little bit. So this sort of black line coming through here, and let's just take that down a little bit there. And where does this go here? Let's just extend this down here. Now that's given me a bit of a swirl, which I want to start to emphasise with colour. So having started to infill the background so that there's less white, I now feel it would be useful to try to create a little bit more contrast. So I'm going to work with darker colour pencils back in. So far I've been just responding and seeing where it goes. I'm starting to see a new composition coming out, and in order to emphasize it I need to edit out some of the stuff that's already on there. So I'm going to start working with emulsion to just take out some sections. A composition is starting to emerge. I'm not entirely sure about this area down here at the moment, or how I finalise this area, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working back into it and see what inspiration comes. I'm going to use the colour pencils and also the oil pastels. Okay, just a few final touches I think with the Tipex pen, just creating a few white lines. So there's my final composition. What I find interesting about it, having introduced the textures and much more random colours, is how it's gone from this, which is very definitely about archers, to something which seems to be much more about boats, peeling paint, and so on. It's that fascinating process where you allow yourself to explore something and see where it goes, rather than having a fixed idea of what it's going to be beforehand. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this course, and if you have, please fill in a feedback form on our website to show our funders that these courses are valuable. Details coming up in a moment. Bye-bye.